Welcome for this panel discussion. We are having a discussion for to rule out or to decrease the incidence of congenital anomalies, so the parents should be comfortable. So for this, we are having Dr. Archana Shukla madam. She is from the very remote place of Balaghat. She did her MD from Jabalpur Medical College, and now she is practicing in Balaghat. She is senior gynecologist working with upgraded versions of all the diagnostics, as well as she is good in obstetrics and laparoscopic surgery.
Good morning, everyone. I extend my heartfelt thanks to the organizing committee, Dr. Aparna Jairam, and all the dignitaries present here for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share the platform with stalwarts of their field. Good morning, everyone. Now, I am practicing obstetrician for the last 30 years in a small town like Balaghat in Madhya Pradesh. What challenges I face in my day-to-day practice and what correlation I have to do with radiologist and with the pathologist. I am lucky enough to have contact with all the doctors at higher center who continuously guide me in my day-to-day practice, and I always take help of them. So first thing is, what is the screening test and what screening test should we advise the patient? First of all, when the patient comes to our clinic, we should take their detailed history. It's very, very important for all the screening tests and for markers. Detailed family history, detailed personal history, detailed history of medical diseases like diabetes, personal history like smoking, age, LMP, correct LMP, any history of mentally abnormal baby in the paternal side or maternal side or previous childbirth with Down syndrome, these all play very, very important role. And then after taking detailed history, detailed antenatal examination, routine antenatal tests, I would like to advise her for genetic counseling. And what to do during genetic counseling, we should say and tell the patient that each and every couple has chance to have genetically abnormal baby. That is very, very important. It is not like that it is only to be done after the age of 35 years, right? So what we do, we have to tell what is genetic test, what is a screening test, and we have to counsel each and every patient what is the difference between screening test and confirmatory test. That is very, very important. Otherwise patients get panic with the report getting high risk test report with the biochemical markers. So this is the screening test. It has to be done. The time is very important when it has to be done. All the biochemical markers test should be done between 9 to 11 weeks. But we who are remaining staying at a remote place, patient don't come very frequently. So we do genetic marker test at 12 weeks test with the anti-scan, very good anti-scan which has to be done between 45 to 84 millimeter of CRL. And then after detailed history and all, we send the report to the pathological lab. And we take good association with the radiologist who give the report of anti-scan. And at the same time, the anti-scan report also detects other anomaly which can be detected at 12 weeks of pregnancy.
Thank you. So we will start the discussion from definitely clinicians. So madam, just tell me, what is the role of gynecologists or obstetricians to increase the sensitivity and specificity of the maternal screening test? How they can help?
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Manisha. Role of clinician is very important here because he or she is the person to tell the test to the patient. So the detailed history of the patient is very, very important before offering any genetic test. Like what is her age, what is her ethnicity. Ethnicity is not the problem with our town, but what is her correct age, what is the date of birth, and we should tell the patient the importance of age and how it is going to affect the result. Only then the patient will tell you the correct age. It is very, very important. Then what is her correct dating of the pregnancy is important. In clinical history, what is the personal history, whether there is any history of smoking, history of diabetes, and whether she is on insulin or not, whether this pregnancy is spontaneous or she is conceived through IVF. If IVF pregnancy, whether it is her donor or donor's egg or herself is the IVF is done with her egg. This all history is very important, along with the history of Down syndrome in the paternal side or maternal side, or any history of mental retarded baby in the family. This all should be taken into account. Then we have to take the correct dating of the pregnancy by doing anti-scan, and anti-scan should be very particular with the CRL of 45 to 84 right? Then only it will be
Yes.
considered that true. And these all information has to be given with the dual marker test if patient is offered this test, double marker test along with anti. So this will increase the specificity as well as the sensitivity of the test. Otherwise, giving wrong information or inadequate information, the soft the software will not take into consideration the data, and the report will not come what we expect it to.
Thank you, Dr. Archana. We are doing it since 3.5 years, and we are facing that the forms we are giving, they are not completely filled. That's why I'm asking why gynecologists can help the sensitivity, because once it comes in gray zone, so we have to ask the history, or if it is very abnormal. So it is very difficult to trace the patient then. So it should be the first step which should be done during maternal
Again,
screening.
if it is
And what time?
Multifetal pregnancy, then the chorionicity of the fetus is also important, and we should write it on the paper and form.
Yes. And
excuse me, madam, I want to ask one question from you. If patient is on exogenous support of of SCG injections, right? Then we should mention it, or is it going to affect the result?
Yeah, you have to mention it.
Okay.
My second question is from you, that at what time you will suggest that double marker test should be done? What is the correct timing?
Correct timing is between 9 to 11 weeks is the correct time to get the double marker test done. But what happens, madam, at our situation, patient comes from remote places. They have to arrange their own vehicle. So we want to get both the tests at the same time, like double marker as well as anti-scan. So we usually get it done at 12 weeks of pregnancy. So we get the report of anti-scan as well as double marker test, and as well as early anomaly scan, we can say.
Yes, if patient is having history of irregular menses and she visited to gynecologist for the first time, and USG report or anti-scan is showing 13 plus 2 weeks, then what you will suggest to the patient? Double marker, or you will proceed for the next level?
Madam, if the patient has come for the first time and USG report is showing 12 to 13 weeks, means not very confirmed dates are there. And we can look here for the other early soft markers in the scan, and we will better suggest her to get the quadruple marker test after 2 to 3 weeks, because the dates are not very sure. Even ultrasound report is not giving correct date. So why to waste money on this dual marker? Better, I would like to suggest her for quadruple marker later on after 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, thank you. Dr. Archana?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you seen these type of cases that all scans and everything was normal, and T-scan was not done? Definitely periphery, there are some issues, but her dual marker and NIPT was normal, and baby born with some congenital anomalies?
Yes. Last year I have seen such case, a patient 38 years old with history of diabetes and hypertension. Her dual marker was low risk, anti-scan was normal, her anomaly scan was done at Higher Center Nagpur by fetal medicine specialist, and it was not showing any soft markers, and after birth the baby came out to be with Down syndrome. I have seen.
So that is actually screening test.
Yeah, that's very sad,
okay.
But the negative predictive value is very good of this test. It's unfortunate.
Yes.
The positive predictive value is different, but negative predictive value is of a dual marker with a very good NT is almost close to above 90%. So I mean, this is something which is something to take back.
In periphery, in Balaghat, are you able to convince the patients to go for NIPT? Because it is a very costly test.
It's very costly test. We definitely counsel the patient about the availability or all test, which is our duty. But most of them, they don't agree for NIPT. They go first for dual marker. And if I advise them for NIPT and offer them, they would first like to take opinion from the fetal medicine specialist at higher center, and then they will go for NIPT.
One more question for you. Why we use the mom values? Why we can't use the maternal markers, serum markers for screening the patient?
The mom value means multiple of median. There are so much individual variation. We have to collect so many data and feed it into the software, and then we will take the ratio of the risk which can occur in the patient. Means cutoff point is 1 in 250, means when we have 250 patients of the same data, there is chance that one of them may get this syndrome, and remaining 249 will not. So it is a ratio. And suppose the alpha fetoprotein is coming about 60 nanogram per ml, and normal median value we have taken as 30, then the mom will become 2. So it is the how far the individual patient's risk from the median value. So it will detect always the ratio. So it is always taken as mom, multiple of median.
Okay, thank you. Aparna, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I have a question for doctors, since they are the people who actually see the patient. Have you, I'm sure with the experience which we had the pleasure of working with Dr. Hema Purandare, we have seen quite a few times, since there are only 3 syndromes which are diagnosed, as Dr. Rohan said. If there is nothing in that 3 syndrome, but the moms are different, like something is very low, say a free beta HCG mom is very low, below 0.5, but there is no risk. And then how is your experience as a clinician, because you see the patient at least 3 to 4 times? I wanted some insight, Dr. Shukla.
Madam, I have seen one case with very low beta HCG, and I found the patient had sudden IUD. So no other cause at that time, but I correlate that value of very low beta HCG, and it is written in literature also. That inference I can take.
The reason of asking this question is because there are many pathologists and the biochemists attending this. Just giving a scan report to the clinician, we really have been into this, where we learn from you on, and we tell you that, okay, this mom is very low, and we can maybe get into the early step of counseling and see what we can do actually for the patient with the help of our radiologist, maybe look at more soft markers or something which is available. That's the reason this question was asked. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
So the take-home message is that NT-scan should be done in proper time along with dual markers. And if any marker is very abnormal, so we should go for a screening test, preferably NIPT. It is also a screening test, but if there is a gross abnormality in NT-scan, so we should go directly for amniocentesis and do the genetic counseling of the patients. That is the best time.
Thank you.
Thank you.